Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the local pundit. I'm stuck in the corner. Look at this. I'm here, there, I'm everywhere, and I've figured it out, touching buttons. It is your Ring and Rant show, appetite for discussion. This is your chance to have your say on what you thought from the weekend. Oh, my God. And what a weekend it was. Anywhere in the championship, there's so much to talk about. But I think the people that deserve the headline this morning is obviously Coventry, who had a massive 7-1 win at home. Congratulations to them. I just thought that was absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I was watching Wrexham obviously play Sheffield United, and I am just watching the score happen, and I'm like, they've scored another one. They've scored another one. They've scored another one. It was just crazy. But anyway, we have the opportunity now for you to come in and have your say. I am throwing the link straight up there. It is there for anybody that wants to come in and have their say as people start to slowly filter in. We have 6 people in here already, so good morning to everybody. I'll be able to get through the 6, I reckon, at this rate. Well, Luke is here, Habisfication, Ted, Hip Karma. So welcome in, everybody. Morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. For me, it's morning. It's 7 o'clock here. But surviving a weekend. And here we go. Habisfication's going to come in and have a crack straight up. So let's get straight into it. Habisfication, how are you going?
I'm all good, you?
I'm very well. What did you want to talk about today?
It was yesterday's match. I'm not actually saddened by the fact that the match ended the way it is. I already resigned myself to the idea that we're probably going to we're gonna have to write off the first 10 to 12 matches anyway. But overall, it was what I saw was some glimpses of something. The way we scored the second goal.
Yes,
that is what we should be aiming for. The way we controlled everything there, it was perfectly well timed. The way we were passing the ball, going through their defense, the way we was going through their. We were passing the ball around perfectly well. And you could see as well, Max was able to control the ball far better than he was previously. He wasn't panicking the way he was doing it. That's what we should be doing. But as you can see, we still drew with Wednesday, and they were not doing so well with what's happening over there on their end.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, let's face it. We stood in solidarity with them on the weekend, and we got up and clapped with them and supported them. Right from that moment on, they came back. I thought that was quite ironic.
I mean, well, we at least gave him a point. So
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure we would have been happy just to give them the clap and not give them any points, but that's the way it goes, I guess. But I think you're right when you mentioned about the that second goal and the way it was constructed and the build-up to it. That was quite good. And I still didn't think we were going to see the best out of our squad or trending towards the best out of our team until after the first international break, which is coming up after next weekend. So, that's going to give the team more time to get better at playing with each other, basically, because, there's a whole heap of new players.
We've got a whole load of injuries as well before the season start. We have, we basically haven't got our midfield magic in the form of Bobby Rathbone being able to go box to box. So, and there were so many things that there was going wrong. Like Lewis O'Brien, he's being ran ragged. The thing is that he's perfect as an attacking midfielder, a centre to either as a centre midfielder to a cam. But the thing is that he's being ran ragged, and I can see him. He's really good at pushing the game forward, but we just don't have that control through the defensive end when the ball was coming through. Because by the time when you saw them they went into a diamond formation in the second half. I think they went and they were able to just go through the middle of it. Whenever we try and deal with anything going through the middle, we just panic, and then we have to end up having to hoof the ball down every time. And that was only just one part of it.
Yeah, I think there's a whole raft of things here that are going to cause that Wrexham is still trying to figure out. And to be honest, look, you actually mentioned the fact that we've still got players injured. I actually think the guy that's really going to help that scenario out is Thompson, in my opinion. But
Thompson, yeah,
he needs to get on the pitch, and we haven't had him yet, so we don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I think there's been. I know Josh came on and did a show earlier today. I noticed that when I woke up because it's early morning for me. I've just not long gotten up, and he was mentioning the potential of 3 signings, and that is sort of the I was going to say modus operandi, but I mean it is the time where there's massive turnover in our squad at the moment, and whether people like it or not, it is going to happen. And it's one of those things that then those players have to get used to playing with each other.
I mean, most of our legacy squad has to go anyway, so
yep,
most of them have to go. So
some people are going to be upset about that because look, they've seen I see Paul Mullen scoring again on the weekend at Wigan, and he scored over 100 goals for us, and and you look at these other guys that are heading out, and the rumours of other people heading out. Stephen Fletcher being let go when he said he wanted to stay, and Mo Farrell now out on loan, and and so on and so forth, and it ain't over yet. It's going to continue to happen, and that doesn't mean you can't still watch them, but the fact of the matter is, the only thing certain in life is change, and that's what's going to happen. And Hip Karma did mention, that our endurance, endurance in our players. I'm going to say, Parky almost all but admitted that he probably should have made more changes in the post-match interview.
He should have, but the thing is that I do agree that our match fitness isn't exactly up to the point where we can deal with that. But the problem is we shouldn't be getting to the point where we're also running our players ragged. Dobson's just basically stuck there having to play as DM the entire time, and he's just being ran around. He is. But we need someone who can we need that workhorse. I mean, Jordan James is one of those people that's coming in. Look at all the 3 signings that we're linked to. Jordan James, Andy Irving, and Smallbone. They're all DMs. Mm-hmm. They're all DMs. They are. So we need someone to be able to control the defensive side of the midfield, so that we can control the ball, be able to control the pass, not have to go frantic about this, and they can work as a defensive aspect and break up the play that takes place. Because when that happens, it means that it forces the opposition, instead of having to go on the attack constantly through the centre, which everyone's been doing. They've been able to get through us. They've been blow straight past us through the centre. From the last 3 matches, they're just able to go past us without any kind of issue. Instead they'll have to be forced to go through the wings. But they're not. They're just going through the centre, and we're not able to go through the centre the same way. If you look at the way we were playing, even with the second goal, the build-up to that second goal was that we were passing it. It was going from, I can't quite remember, it was Brunt to Cody, then to Max, and I think O'Brien, and back to McLean. And it was to McLean. We're heavily relying on McLean or Longman to be able to. Oh yeah, I remember that. And then we went from McLean to O'Brien to Longman, then back, and it went into Moore to score a second goal. And we were doing the perfect thing. We had triangles. They were flustered. They didn't know how to deal with the ball passing. We were fast with our passing, but we just had no control in that centre to be able to go through and push the triangles in between that. But just nothing there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, look. I mean, and let's face it. In the fact of that, like you're saying, Dobson was ran ragged. We've got three midfielders injured at the moment: Cannon, Thomason, and Rathbone. All injured. And Cannon's long-term injury, but I'm just sort of mentioning 3 injured players. But what I found interesting,
and Rodriguez as well.
Oh, Rodriguez, yeah, but Rodriguez is not really a midfielder, is he?
No, but he's also part of the long-term injuries as well.
Yeah, so. But also, look, and then the other thing for me was, well, if Dobson's so tired, and if you recognise that, why wasn't Elliot Lee subbed on?
He's an attacking midfielder.
I understand that, but he's still a midfielder. I mean, and if your midfield's tired, it doesn't matter whether he's defensive or attacking.
It's different. When you have a dedicated defensive midfielder, they control the whenever the ball was coming back at you, because they're really good at breaking up play instead of moving the ball forward. They move the ball forward, but they're there to break up the play, slow down the pace, control the ball, get the pass in back into your end, and push the game forward. And then you have the attacking midfielders, the centre to attacking, to be able to move the game forward each time. So they're able to control the ball much more easier.
But we didn't have a defensive midfielder on the bench.
I know.
So, I mean, interesting, that we didn't have that. So yeah, I look at that and I go, okay, well, it's so there's a whole lot of things you can talk about there, I guess, in terms of that. And I mean, I know in our private private chat to a couple of boys on Discord, when we went up 2-0 and we looked amazing at that point. I actually, and here we go. Maybe I put the mocker on the team. I'll put in there. Hopefully, we can get a route today. Score 4 or 5. Because at that point,
as well,
it looked like that was what was going to happen. But yeah,
that just didn't happen. We lost control, and then it looked like we just basically parked the bus. And then this always happens to be our biggest weakness, is that if we're not in control of the ball, we're not passing. If we had the way we were controlling the ball in the first half, and the way we was controlling it every time, because we had majority possession, and the way we was controlling the ball to be able to be a threat constantly we just looked dangerous constantly every time, because they knew that we were a threat. We were just shooting. We were just getting the ball past them and we were getting it in. But then they figured us out. And one of the big weaknesses was, I mean, everyone has kind of figured us out in terms of the way to get to us. It's through our wings. They know they can get us on our wings. And McLean, he just does not have the pace. Because as soon as the ball, either what ends up doing, they put overloads on him. They'll just double up the numbers on him, take the ball from him, or if he's trying to chase him down, he can't even catch them. They will just accelerate past him. He just can't keep up with them.
And I mean, and look, and fair play. I mean, Kakache's out injured, so he is the guy that would have been starting there. But yeah,
he's faster as well.
Yeah, if anyone does want to come in, I've put the link in the chat. I'll whack it up again. So yeah, and have their say. So yeah, I mean, look, I guess we can't dwell on it too much. I mean, the results happened. It's 2-2. We've got our first. Okay, so glass half full. We got our first point of the season. Glass half empty. We won the game.
I actually think this was actually a nice moment, this match, because we have the shell. We do. We have the shell of our play style. We do developing, because this isn't the hoofball that we saw in Parky. Usually, that only happened when we just started to panic.
Yeah,
that's when that happened.
In the first half. Didn't happen in the first half.
Didn't happen. We were just controlling the ball. We had absolute control over the ball. We knew what they were doing, and they couldn't deal with it. But as soon as the second half happened, they figured us out. Just went through the middle. We knew how to control the ball, but they just figured out that they can just attack us on the wings and they can just go through the center. They were just breezing past us. They were, and that's the one thing that was just.
And then if you flip that coin, that's exactly what we were doing to them in the first half. Like, we controlled the ball, we went round them on the wings, got beautiful crosses in, we created opportunities, and we were doing fine. Like we were playing Parky and Parkin's system to a T and executing. Kiefer Moore having the time of his life. Like, at the first half, he just thought, "This how good's this? I get to score goals. I get to celebrate. This is fantastic." So, I mean, all the ingredients are there.
We have the shell. We have the shell. I mean, here's the thing. I think we would actually do a lot better. But the thing is that if we play, the big thing is if we play McLean again, they're just gonna just go after him, and they're gonna make him a big weakness on that. And then what that ends up having to do, it draws in. What that does is it forces Brunt to have to come down and try and defend from that, and that's what becomes a dangerous scenario. So that ends up opening us up for space in which they could pass around through the center and get that in. I mean, the way they scored the first and second goal was basically the same way, and it was getting through McLean.
So what's your solution to that?
We need a loan.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously Kakache's out injured, so but he'll definitely come in that spot. Look out! I've got someone. Well, now at least we're going to be able to get some sense of this whole situation. We're going to have solutions. We're going to get all the problems fixed. We've got the right person here to help us out now. So this is good. I finally, between Haversification and Paddy Power, the solutions are coming.
Hello, everyone.
What's going on?
Good. So just catching up on the conversation, I didn't get all of it, but I started to get the gist.
Okay. At the moment, Haversification's just mentioning the fact that, obviously, the couple of guys, they just come straight through McLean. I asked what his solution is, and he said, we need a loan. But now I think the club's fortunes are about to turn because, like Reliable Express says, Paddy's back from the dead, and he's here to help us out. What do you think, Paddy? Do you think, obviously Kakache's out injured, but have you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we're too weak in the second spot there. I'm assuming Kakache is good enough because he's a new player. We need him back, first of all. But I still think it's dangerous that Maka has not yet shown enough. And I even worry about him in the second spot, to be honest. He's played poorly. None of the players around him on the other team cared, not even slightly, that Maka was there. Yep. You can tell sometimes when people are playing the ball, they're always looking around, they're always looking up. Where's that guy? Where is he? And at least they're taking that second look. No one cared that McLean was around him.
Okay, so then, do you think there was? Look, for me, I thought at halftime even he could have brought on Barney and swap Longman over to that side.
Yeah. That would have been a better option. That would have been.
Yeah, I thought that was a possibility. And I was worried because before the game, in the game day build-up, I mentioned the fact that, I thought this was the first time this season we had a stronger bench than our opposition. And I thought we needed to play high-tempo football and run them ragged. And we were running all over the top of them in the first half. And then second half just stopped. It was like someone flicked the switch.
Yeah, well, remind me, what time did their first goal go in? Wasn't it about 70 minutes?
It was around 76th minute. They went through our midfield. They were controlling our midfield.
Yeah. Now I'm going to suggest something that's not my idea.
63rd minute, guys.
Oh, 63rd. Okay.
That might have been the second goal I'm thinking of.
81st for the second.
No, I've lost all
right. Okay, 63rd might be a little bit early, especially for what I'm about to say. In the Discord, I don't know who said it. I'm sorry. But they said because we were ahead and they were starting to come through us, why didn't he bring in our new defender and even potentially play a back four temporarily just to stop them coming through? And to go pure defensive with a 2-goal lead. Now, Parky's never going to do that. I liked the idea. I thought it was a decent idea considering the amount of injuries we have. 2 goals up, go heavy defensive, and then still do some counters. Yeah, but that's not Parky's way. But I liked the idea.
4-4-2 diamond.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, but basically just the idea of the 4 at the back instead of the 3-man. Bring in your extra defender. Just spread them out a little bit more. He's used to playing in a 4 already. He's experienced. So then you have Cody and himself, both experienced championship players, in the center of that back line, and I'm sure the wider players would be happy just pushing out a little bit because they push forward anyway. Brunt and Maxi. So I don't think they would have had too much issue pushing out. It's just Cody then, I guess, who isn't really happy playing in a 4, but he's done it, I'm sure.
I'm sure, it would have been an adjustment for him, and obviously Doyle as well, coming in fresh like that because they probably just play the normal system all week at training. I
know. Yeah, I agree. I know, but it's one of those scenarios where people complain about Parky and say he's not willing to try something new or different or in the moment. None of that would. I know he'll never do it, but that's the sort of thing you could do as a once-off. If you kind of were willing to make those big calls.
They switched to 4 in the back.
Wow. And anything, well, why don't we quickly, obviously there was a whole whack of games over the weekend. Why don't we quickly, we're very, talking about Wrexham the whole way here, but I'm going to throw up the results from the weekend there. And as you can see, early on the weekend, Derby and Bristol 1-1 draw. Blackburn's absolutely trounced Hull 3-0 away. That was an amazing result. Swansea, Watford 1-1. Leicester just getting over the top of Charlton away, which is a good win. And Charlton, fair play to Charlton. They really put in a good show there to just go down 2-1. Interesting. Preston getting over Ipswich 1-0 at home. Ipswich only 1 point so far 2 points so far for the season. I think it is from memory. I'd have to go back and look at the table. Obviously, 2-2 draw for us. Stoke 2-1 to be one of the undefeated teams so far this season. Then Middlesbrough as well, 2-1 win. The other undefeated team. West Brom Portsmouth 1-1. Millwall 1-0 away over Sheffield United for them to still have 0 points so far this season. Birmingham 1-0 over Oxford, but that one, Coventry QPR. Paddy and I were in the having a bit of a private chat while watching a game, and every time we turn around, there was another goal scored.
I did say in this chat, you got to watch out for them.
Yeah, Coventry have had a lovely start. They're going to be trouble if they're going full attack this season. If that's what they're after, is lots of goals, and they can do it, they're going to be a vicious team. Now, I'm sure they'll get turned over themselves at some points doing it, but if they're attacking like that and they're going to score multiple goals every match, they could be a really interesting team.
Yeah. They are a high-press team. When I was watching the way they play, they're a very high-press team, high tempo. So they're going to come at you hard, they will.
Yeah.
And Paddy, I'm going to show the full tipping sheet result at the moment because, as we know, last season I did this as well whenever it looked good for me. And I only get to do it 2 or 3 times a season, people. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to take advantage of it. It was very interesting to see. The only highlight for me of this whole footy tipping sheet is the very right-hand side, the fact that Harry all over only got 2 right. Because if he beats me, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose it. So any surprises of the games on the weekend for you, Habisfication?
There wasn't really much of a surprise. Only that the way Coventry was scoring, that one just was like you could see QPR's fans were just walking out the stadium at that point when they got 4 goals in. They're like, oh my god, it's over. Because they did the same to Derby last week as well.
And last season they started slow, but not this season.
They still have their legacy squad from last season, so
which is most teams see, and this is the other reason why we are going to be in that sort of situation of probably being behind the 8 ball early in the season. It's what seems to be behind the 8 ball.
I think after the 10th or the 12th match, because Paddy, you saw the way we scored in the second goal, and I thought that's what we should be aiming for. Generally, the way we were just passing it around. Your favorite thing, triangles, and but we did. They were basically floundered. They couldn't stop the way we were passing the ball around and be able to get that crossing because we were so heavy on the crosses that they just couldn't deal with it. And then they just switched on more defensive. But they basically saw what we were doing, went after our wings. They knew McLean was slow, just went through the centre. But we have that. We just need to get that control in the midfield.
Yeah, because the thing is, we need to hold a bit of possession. We need to pass the ball around, and we need to take the pressure off the wingers, because it's too heavily dominant out and up the wings at the moment.
They're doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and the only way to pull that pressure off is to attack through the middle until we don't attack through the middle, and then we're flying up the wings and going for our heavy attack based off the wingers. And it gives them the space to do it. So then it should, in theory, be much more effective. So yeah, that's what we've always kind of wanted. Second half of last season, we spoke about it a lot with the 3-5-1-1 and how that was supposed to be working. Never kind of got it quite right, but our defense saved their ass a lot last season. And that's what we need. What we need is solid, fast play through the center. That means they have to defend all sides. They have to defend the wingers and the middle, and then they can't double team anywhere.
Yep. No, that's pretty cool.
I just hope after the 10th or 12th match, we should start coming at every other club as demons. We just start coming at them with absolute vengeance at some point. Because that's, I'd say around that point is when we've kind of understand where we are as a club. Everyone's now accustomed to each other. There's that word gelling. Everyone in the Discord seems to find strange, but yeah, we have that moment where we're accustomed. We understand each other's quirks, and we know how to basically control and slow down the pace as well. We've got to give some massive hats off to Max, because he's improved massively again. Each match I'm seeing him in, he's improving every time massively. And the way everyone probably just saw the way he tackled as well to stop that ball from going down as well. And he's not hoofing the ball down as well. He's actually controlling the ball and passing it out properly.
I would agree he seems more comfortable. Maybe for me it's a little bit more comfortable moving forward again.
Of course.
So he needs a bit of that, because that's what made him special, I suppose. Now he is a defender, he needs to defend, and he needs to get that side of it right. But I would say yes, his defensive duties have improved a bit. And it certainly gives me hope that throughout this season he can build his level up to where he needs to be.
Of course.
And I think he might get lucky this season in that his position is not going to be upgraded pre-January. I think he's going to survive this summer without someone coming in who may be good enough to just say, sorry, Maxi, sit down. So he might have till January to really prove himself. And then we'll see where we are, what needs to upgrade it. And you may not get the right person in January anyway. If you need someone to upgrade Max, you might not be available.
Yeah.
Interesting. You guys got interesting points there. I mean, I think that, obviously Max has potential for massive upside because he's so young and he has improved. He's raised his level every year. And I still think he will raise his level again this year, and hopefully to like the top level in this league too, and I remain hopeful of that. I saw improvements. I don't know that I saw as many improvements as what you're saying, habitation, but I'll take that on board because I'm not the oracle. I don't know everything. Interesting. Bruce is saying here he's a touch more optimistic. He's thinking, looking at the team being settled and have some tactical switches on the top of base systems by the end of October international break, and I think that's a very relevant comment there by Bruce. Look, I think we'll be better after this first international break.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll be at our best until getting in closer to Christmas, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you can see Parky's trying to go for a 3-4-3 formation he's going for, so closer to a 3-4-3.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that as the players get better and become better playing together, because I'm seeing, Lewis O'Brien just impresses me so much. Yeah. The way when he gets the ball and he moves and he links up with other players is just, so good to watch. It is so good to watch. And you get other players in. I actually feel like, I'm hoping that Thomason is that right guy that's quicker than Matty James, can play that position and control the defensive side of the midfield a little bit better. I think Matty James has done a good job so far this season. He's played, at his level and done quite well. And he's very good typically at a long pass too, but haven't seen a lot of that yet this year. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, and is there more signings coming in? Sounds like it. Josh is saying there's 3 there that are almost over the line. So, that is going to be that we've only got, what do we got? 8 days or something before they've got to name the squad.
Yeah, we're into the final week now. It's going to get interesting very quick. And it's one of those blink and you lose scenarios potentially coming into the end. So I think the reason we're seeing extra names is because we may only be looking for one more. But it's okay, well, who are we going to get first? Maybe 1, maybe 2, who knows? If it was 3, I would find that crazy, but I would not be surprised the way they've been adding people in. But you have to have backups for your backups at the end of the season because you really don't know where they're going to go. People are going to go.
It's the depth that we need. And as soon as you go up, once you're in the championship, you need depth of squad as well to be able to replace them because injuries are going to happen. And it's only going to happen at some point. Someone's going to have a hamstring injury. And then you're going to need someone to come in.
Paddy, here we go. Quick question. Why is it that most other teams' players are match fit, but we aren't? We lost our legs at 70 minutes. Just curious. What's your thoughts, Paddy?
My thoughts on that is some of our players are not championship players, and there is a difference of fitness and speed and endurance that players have as you go up through the levels. And some of them are just not capable of it. So asking them to do 90 minutes early in the season still is too much for them. Other teams have seasoned championship players and their fitness levels and everything are just higher.
Habitification, your thoughts?
I would say some of that is due to what Paddy has said as well, but also the squad that we have is some of them are legacy squads, and some of it is to do with the fact we've basically got an entirely new starting 11. Like, none of these guys know how to play with each other, and we're trying to fit into the mold of Parky's system. Everything is just completely new. It's a new environment. Everyone's trying to do something different. And I mean, you see the way Broadheaded, he's a bit frantic, but he's trying to find his place in there. I mean, it's just the general chaos of the entire thing.
Yeah.
Efficiency. There's no efficiency of play among the players because they don't know each other well enough. So they're making runs when they don't need to, stuff like that. Yeah, they're trying to cover each other because someone gets it wrong.
Yep. I think Bruce McFarlane practically took the words straight out of my mouth. Most other teams, I'd say, bring the sub on for the player that is gassed. Wrexham doesn't have the quality on the bench yet. Dobbo is playing over his head and may be better coming on 65 to 75 minutes. So look, I think we need 60 to 65 minute substitutions, sometimes half-time substitutions. And I think we need 4 or 5 of them at around that time in the game. So that because there's some players that won't get gassed. Like Cody doesn't have to run as much, so he won't get gassed. Guys like Max, when he's got free license, like he did for a bit on the weekend, does cover a lot of the pitch, but typically doesn't, and neither does Brunt. So they can typically last a full game. But McLean, Barnett, Longman, O'Brien, Dobson, all these guys, they cover a lot of the pitch. They do a lot of running around. They're going to wear out.
Yeah.
So, I think we need to have a higher rotation of the bench coming on. And it's almost, you got to trust it, and we paid the price for not doing that on the weekend. I feel like, I would have loved to have seen Lee on. I would have loved to have seen Barney on. I would have loved to have, there's a few guys there I wanted to see on. So, yeah.
You have to take into consideration the squad that we have is basically almost new. And we're basically going to have an entirely new squad altogether. The other squads from the other clubs, they've basically played the same. they're basically more or less the same squads from last season. So they know each other's quirks. They're accustomed to each other. They know what to do. They have that telepathic like passing. They know where everyone's going to be. They know where the space is going to be. We don't with ours. We're still quite frantic in certain areas.
Yeah. That affects how the players play together. It doesn't affect fitness.
It does. I would slightly disagree a little bit. If you have a look at the numbers of transfers that other teams have been making, I was actually a little bit shocked at how many they're replacing in other teams as well. So there is 10 teams that have above 8 transfers. Now, not everybody has done it, so it's fine for those teams, I agree. But a lot of other teams do have a lot of changes as well, especially with those who focus on loans a lot. You know, there's teams that have 3 and 4 or 5 loans swapped out from last season. So a lot of teams are going through this as well.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, and there's John talking to Ben Bloom before the Blues v Ipswich game, because as you know, John's obviously Birmingham fan. Benjamin Bloom is a massive Ipswich fan, freely admits it, so that was interesting. And he's saying fitness is a huge difference in the Prem. Everyone is 6 foot and an absolute athlete and can run all day. Well, yeah, I mean, good luck to them, I guess. But it's interesting. Ted Nelson championship teams have more physical therapy personnel and facilities along with trainers than the lower leagues. This is a huge benefit. Yeah, it is a huge benefit, and I won't deny that, because obviously the better training facilities you have, and it really is about recovery more than the training, because that's the key. One of the key things to getting fit is rest. So you need to get good sleep. You need to have good recovery, the ice baths, the massage, everything that goes with it, cupping sessions, all those things that, to get those muscles recovering as quickly as possible. But yeah, I mean, geez, it's we ain't in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
I mean, the thing is that once we get closer to the January window, we should start consider looking internationally as well. I mean, if we're going to look for newer players as well. So, I mean, South America, Japan, they're usually the best places to go to for that.
Before Paddy comments on that habitation, I couldn't agree with you more, because I'm not happy that Aaron got so many tips right in his transfer window on signings, and I went and looked international, and I didn't get one. And so you're absolutely right. But you're right. I mean, look, this is the level we're playing in now. Look at the money we're talking about now for transfers. I mean, it's $10 million is now a thing. 2 years ago, we weren't breaking the $1 million mark.
Yeah. Yeah, and
we
the thing
is the championship
this season, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, if we had less injuries at this stage, we could rotate people in a little bit slower, and we could have the new guys on the bench coming on at 70 minutes, and coming on with their pace, power, and everything else. So it's just unfortunate. We had a great start last season when we were able to do that, but unfortunately, it's just not worked out that way this season.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see you there, John. I saw that comment. Don't worry, I saw it. Yeah. Now, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It literally is Champ Chat after this, where John will be on with Paddy. And is Aaron with you guys this morning, Paddy? I think he is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Yep. So, you'll get smarter minds. Oh, well, actually, Habisification's here. So we're getting some really good insights, but I'm not going to claim to be the oracle. This is a chance for anybody. I've thrown the comment, the link in there multiple times. I do want people on this show to feel free to jump in. Even if you only want to jump in for 1 or 2 minutes, have a quick say. We can talk on a topic and jump out. We're totally comfortable with that. You don't have to put your camera on. Happy to have the chat. If you're from another club, we highly encourage that. I would have loved to have had a commentary supporter on this morning. That would have been awesome. You could have had a good old pro, and it would have been a great listen. Maybe I should have reached out to Matt SB and got him on, and he could have talked about how happy he was after the weekend. So, but yeah, it's been interesting. It has been interesting. So to see how we've started the season, I'm not surprised. Are either of you guys surprised?
It has to be expected at some point. We did well last year. Can't do it every season.
Habitification?
I'm not really all that surprised. So I basically said we're just going to need to write off the first 10 to 12 matches because this is going to be the accustoming. Accustoming? Is that a word? No, it's not a word.
Custom?
Accustom? No, that's past tense. This is let's use that word, gelling period.
Okay. Yep.
It's going to have to be that moment there where we're going to have to get our players get used to this new. And Parky's using a completely new system as well. He's not using the same. He's not really using the same formula as per. Well, he's using literally near the business end of the season's formation. Basically, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, and I'm totally fine with it as well. I think it's going to be absolutely fun. Oh, look out! Here we go. We're going to get. Well, if we were ever going to get a voice of reason, Paddy, this is when it's coming. Here we go. Good morning. I'll say good morning, Cam, because I know you're in Australia.
Good morning. I don't know about reason, but there will be another accent to be added to the show. Good to see you.
Ken's.
Similar to Ken's, yes.
Just a lot more refined habitification.
So, just a quick one, because it is morning and doing morning chores here. Yes, I can understand why many were disappointed with the draw. For me, A, we got a point. B, I saw so much promise. We had a great first half. I have been told people change tactics and whatever in the second half. For me, though, what I'm choosing, let me be very clear, I'm choosing to take out of this that there is a lot of promise in this team at the moment, and it takes time for cohesion. And yes, some people are taking on absolutely what you were saying, gentlemen, about they're not necessarily being fit enough, and some may not get fit enough for this level. But those that can probably still need a little bit more time to get fitter, the ones that do most of the running. And I'm excited for what we're going to be looking like this time next month. Once we know what our squad is going to look like, because I suspect it's still going to be a little bit crazier this week. We clearly have more irons in the fire. So there's more to come, and I'm choosing to be excited about that and the promise of what I saw in the last game. That's just me.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. I like that. Any comments, boys? I can say that because two other men.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I see a lot of positives in the 3 matches we've had so far. So I'm not so worried about that. Obviously, the results aren't great, but c'est la vie. You just have to take it on the chin and move on. I am happy with that. I am a little worried with the injuries, and the one in particular I'm going to call out that I want to do just before I head off is Zach. Now, I didn't know who Zach was. Someone had to tell me. Kiefer Moore. Parky said that he injured himself, that he basically went over his ankle a little bit, got a little bit of a sprain, and he wanted to stay on, and he did stay on. And Parky thinks he didn't get any more damage by staying on the pitch. And when I heard him say that in an interview, I was like, are you crazy? What the hell are you doing with one of our new players who is doing fantastically for us so far, and you're going to leave him out on the pitch and risk further injury when we have so much injuries at the moment? I heard that the words come out of his mouth, and I could not believe it.
Especially when we had Smith and Hardy on the bench.
Yeah.
That's a fair call. Yep. Yeah, fair call. I'm with you on that one, Paddy. I'm with you on that one.
See, I know players want to push themselves, but come on, you don't let them choose. You don't let it's like I really hate that decision.
If you take a timestamp on that situation, and I'll cross to the other two in a second, timestamp on that situation, that's halftime. We're up 2-0. We were dominating that match at that point in time.
Yeah.
Now, the counter argument to my point would be, well, why wouldn't you continue on and keep going and do what we do? But like you said, if the guy's come off, he's got an injury, you clearly seen that he tweaked his ankle. It's like, don't risk him. You're up 2-0. Get other players on. Smith and Hardy, like, they're great players. Give them a go. I mean, habitification. I'll go to you first and then to Hip Karma. What do you think of that?
I mean, the thing is with that is, I heard that as well, and I was thinking to myself, why would you keep him on? There's reasons why you take people out, just in case, because you've got to save them for the next match. You've got to save them for the next match, because if you keep them going, I mean, the thing is that Phil was a bit old school as well, so he's got that old school kind of manager thinking. So, I mean, he grew up in a time where football players literally were just kicking each other in the shin. Yep. So they were basically breaking each other's bones and tearing each other's soft tissue.
Yeah, Hip Karma, your thoughts on that at that moment in the game, whether that would have been a smart decision or not?
So taking myself off mute does help. Too much time in teleconferences, guys, just saying. So for me, yes, I would have taken him off either then or at halftime and just brought the two on, or brought one on and planned so that they weren't thrown on later and potentially exacerbate. Having said that, I go back to what both Paddy and Habs were saying. It sounds, when you said that to me just then, and I had heard it before, but it had gone out of my brain box just quite easy. What I thought was, oh, he's doing a Mullen with his back. Like, I'm good, I'm fine. I'm good, I'm fine. I swear I'm good, I'm fine. Put me in, or keep me in. Don't take me out. And from a humanistic perspective, at what point do you believe your player when it's just a flesh wound, coach, I swear, or genuinely it's not that bad? And that's a hard judgment call to make, because you've got to trust them at some point. And here's Cheryl moving because the dogs are deciding to drink water right beside her. And I think that's probably one of the challenges he faced. For me, caution. I would have erred on the side of caution. But then again, I'm the person who has been saying, I'll be happy with mid-table. And I said it last season too, and I still would have been happy last season with mid-table. So I am the err on caution side. Yeah,
I agree. Luke, I have one question. I have quickly one question for Luke. Do you mean just on his comment around Kiefer Moore, or do you mean all the time?
Always.
That's my only query on that one. And obviously, Shirley Park and John, you're absolutely right on that as well. I agree. Yeah. So I think, and Bruce McFarlane, great comment. A striker looking for a hat trick is not always the most trustworthy on how he's feeling.
But I'm going to bring up another situation here, and I've brought this up before. Mendy. Mendy was out for a long time, and when he came back from injury, Parky decides to put him back in for his first match on the worst pitch you have ever seen in your life. Bogged down with water, muddy as all hell.
There was sand everywhere on that pitch. It was
all
terrible.
Over the pitch. And that's with the player coming back, and let's assume 100% fitness, gone through everything he needs to do to get back out on the pitch, and you still don't look at that pitch and say, this is not a good idea. And I called it during that watch along, and I said, this is a horrible pitch for Mendy to be back on.
Okay. And I'm glad Luke has said no, just on Moore, not all the time, Paddy, because otherwise he was going to get a yellow card. Just saying. We still have fun here. Well, look, this week, upcoming, we have next round of Carabao Cup, and we're coming up against a team that's just beaten Ipswich 1-0. So what do we think? How do we think we're going to go?
Guys, I'm going to say goodbye and jump out
and
go say hello to John, and I will see you guys in a bit.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. See you then.
See you, Paddy.
All right, it's in a bit.
Yep. And guys, just remember, we're only 10 minutes away from Champ Chat, so we've got 5 minutes left here, and then we'll give everybody time to take a quick break if they are relaxing and watching. So I'll go to Hip Karma and Habisification here. Preston North End, we're away to them this week in just under 2 days. What do you think? Big change in the squad for this week, Hip Karma, for the midweek game?
I think there will be. Yes.
Who would you like to see get a run?
He needs to rest some people. Some people need to recover. I mean, they were just dead on their feet at the end of the match. So for more than one reason, I expect changes. And on that note, I shall also vanish. As you know, It's a Monday morning for us. I have chores to do before I get into the office. Stay spectacular, everyone.
Totally understand.
All right.
See you, Hip Karma.
See you in a bit.
Well, Habisification, and then there were two. Well, we can get into it. We can get into the team. What do you think? Who would you like to see starting on Wednesday in the midweek game?
It's going to be hard to say, but we're going to need to. Of course, we're going to need to use Ashfield because he needs to get the minutes in.
Yep,
that's definitely something we need to do. We're going to probably need to use some of the guys that we would have for depth usually. So it would be someone like, dare I say, our 69 goal scorer, Ollie Palmer.
Yeah,
maybe.
But
it's hard to say, and he'll probably just be a super sub to come on. But it is a cup game, and you're basically allowed to put on anyone, really. So
I think we could see Ao at the back. We could see Scar in the middle, O'Connell and Callum Doyle.
Yeah, but the thing with Doyle is that he's going to have to be integrated into the squad. So he's going to be much more used to the league matches. I know Josh is not going to like it if he does put him on there, but I think he needs to basically kind of get in. But I think it's going to be hard to say.
Him to get start this. It's like a free hit.
Yeah.
Like there's no harm, no foul here. It doesn't matter. Like if we lose, we lose. He gets to play. So yeah, I have no issues with that. The midfield is going to be the one that really interests me. Is who's going to play across the middle? Like because I'm confident that that's going to be my back in the back. But who's going to be my wing backs and in the centre? Don't know. That's where I'm not sure.
That's going to be hard to say. We may end up using McLean again. That's going to almost be predictable because we used him in the last match in the Carabao Cup. So it's very likely we're going to see him again. We're probably going to we might see Longman again, or we might see Barnett.
Maybe Barney because he didn't play on the weekend.
Yeah, he wasn't played on the weekend. I think he had a slight. I think Barnett had a slight injury, didn't he, from the last match, or was he just not?
No, I didn't think so. Kakache has been injured. Don't know whether he's back yet. So that's an interesting question, Elizabeth Jones. But I think that it's just George Evans might get a start controlling the midfield in this game.
Yeah, that's going to be something. I mean, he's able to at least somewhat control the match a little bit, but he's a legacy player as well, and he's not going to make it into the squad for the league. It's going to be so weird. He's going to be on there. I know Ashfield's going to be on there. We might get Broadhead on there as well.
Maybe, but I think Parky's going to try and rest as many of his starting lineup as he can to keep them fresh for the weekend. That's my gut.
I mean, these Tuesday, Saturday matches are going to be quite common this season. They're going to be very common this season. So you're going to see this happen quite a lot where, we've got to face someone this week on a Saturday, then we've got to face them on a Tuesday, and then we've got to face them again, some other team on a Saturday. So this becomes quite common, and injuries go up quite quickly. That's why the depth is necessary for this league. And that's why I mentioned for January, when we get to the January transfer window, might need to get someone from maybe Argentina, maybe Brazil or Japan, or from Mexico, because we've got Necaxa, we do.
Well, Habisfication, maybe in the Discord, maybe you should throw us up a list of 4 or 5 candidates for January.
There's quite a few. There's too many to count.
Too many. Okay, fair enough. Well, look, guys, we might get this down. So you got any last words you want to say now, Habisfication, before I get us out of here? Because I want to give everybody time enough to have a break and get ready for Champ Chat.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. We are starting to see the shell of our team that's being built around it. We are seeing, we're no longer seeing Parky Ball. We're seeing Parky Ball 2.0. So we're going away from Parky Ball 1.0. We're going to Parky Ball 2.0. We're seeing an evolution of his play style, which is different. So fret not. It is getting better, and we're seeing a complete difference in the way we're playing. So after around the 10th or the 12th match, we're going to see league match. We're going to see a significant improvement, and I think we're going to come back with a vengeance. We are at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Well, look, guys, I want to thank everybody coming this morning. Habisfication, you, Paddy for jumping in, Hip Karma, really loved it, guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. You've got shows coming up all week. Obviously, we have Champ Chat coming up in 3 minutes, so we'll get us out of here. And then we had a show earlier today, if you missed it, with Josh. So get back and have a look at that. Join in. There's more coming on that bombshell. We will see you all next time. Have a great day.